What's happening, people? Welcome back to Booted! How's it going, all? Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining. I just finished my bourbon, so I think I'm all prepped for the show. That's really the only criteria that needs to be met in order to host a successful live stream, so to speak. Welcome, everyone. This is Booted Season 4, the final episode. This is week 4. We're in the, this is the finale, the grand finale, where all of the finalists, the 3 finalists that were chosen over the last few weeks, are going to be pitted head-to-head against each other for the grand prize of $500 in their choice of an Amazon or Steam gift card. So far, everyone who's won Booted, the last 3 winners of the series, have all gone with the Amazon gift card, which I suppose is probably what I would go with too. It seems like the more favorable option. However, if you're just really into games and you don't need anything on Amazon, maybe you're Steve. If you're Steve OMG and you buy like 30 Steam games a day, then maybe we'll have one winner who picks the Steam gift card. But so far, it's all Amazon. Welcome, guys. It's so good to be here. It's so good to have you here. I'm excited. I'm really excited about this final episode, and hopefully you guys have your voting fingers ready, because it's going to be a tough choice. I was looking at the contenders earlier today and thinking who I would vote for personally, and I think I have mine figured out. However, it took me a while to get to that conclusion because they're all such really good rigs. They're very well composed. They're finalists for a reason, put it that way. But before we dive into it, just a couple announcements. I will be flying out this Wednesday, actually Thursday morning at like 12:50 a.m. Myself and my wife, Heather, Wifey Sauce, we're going to be catching a plane to frickin' China. We're going to be going to China, McHale, for an AMD press event. Wonder what they're going to be talking about there. I can't really give away too many details, but we're going to be going to frickin' China, and then we're going to be hopping over to Taipei a couple days later to cover Computex 2016. I will be traveling with Paul from Paul's Hardware as well, and we're going to be kind of sticking together, helping each other film and whatnot, all of our Computex coverage. So stay tuned for that. There's going to be a lot of awesome coverage for this event on both mine and Paul's channels. So very looking forward to that. So just a forewarning, you're going to be seeing quite a bit of coverage. I would say expect anywhere from 2 to 3 videos a day at the event. Maybe more. Who knows? But yeah, it should be good stuff. And I mean, custom. I'm looking forward to all the add-in board partners and their GTX 1080s. Maybe we'll even get some 1070s in there. Who knows? Should be some exciting stuff. So lots of good things to look forward to. Let's go ahead and thank our sponsor really quick for making this show possible, which is CableMod. This is their 2nd consecutive season of sponsorship because they're awesome. Guys, if you haven't checked out CableMod products at all, now might be the time to do so. They've got cables, obviously, as you could probably suspect from the name, and they've also got really good these CableMod wide beam LED strips. We're at the configurator page right here, and they actually just released a new type of sleeving, their ModFlex sleeving. Their Mod Mesh. Forgive me. ModFlex is what they already had, but now they have Mod Mesh, which is a special type of PET sleeving, and I'll be talking more about this during the voting round. So be sure to stay tuned for that. There's links in the description if you want to check out any of their products. Really good stuff. I have CableMod products in probably 3 or 4 of my 11 PCs that I have currently operational. So I'm a personal believer in their products. Now, let's get on to the important things. The PCs. That's what the show's about, damn it. Hopefully everything is also sounding good. I'm going to check the stream really quick. All you guys in chat. All right, people are not rioting, so that means audio is apparently coming in clear enough.
Does it sound okay? Do it sound alright? Alright.
That was a really expensive microphone, so hopefully it sounds awesome. Okay, let's talk about our first contender, who is McHale. I'm going to say McHale, because it's more original. In his Evolve ATX, we had quite a few Evolve ATX chassis in this season of Booted, and it's not too hard to see why. It's a beautiful case, and very functional as well. Rocking a Core i7-6700K. So this is, again, the high-end season of Booted. We're going to be seeing some heavy hitters here. Let's take a look at the insides here. All right, so he's got 2 GTX 980 Ti's, reference design, but they are, rebranded under Zotac, of course. Got an Asus Z170 Deluxe ATX motherboard. Beautiful board for not too much moolah. And he's also got 16 gigs of Kingston Savage DDR4 at 3000. Decent storage setup. Everything's looking good here. That's also a reasonable power supply for the amount of hardware he's got connected here. So first off, right off the bat, what I really like about this system overall is it's first of all it's just ridiculously clean. The cable sleeving is on point. They are trained quite nicely. They're not 100% like fully super tight and crispy is what I would call them, but they are very straight and aligned. Got the cable combs on there, and he also has really nice just composition of everything. I really love the large Be Quiet cooler. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. That brushed finish there, and he's also modded out the GeForce GTX logos. All the branding, the LEDs that are on the 980 Ti's there are by stock green, and you can see here they are clearly white. So that's just some extra love and dedication that he put in there, along with a very nice EVGA bridge, SLI bridge to top things off. He's also got an SSD that's hanging down there in the lower right corner. I really like that placement. I can't tell if it's the camera lens or if it's just actually the SSD is a little bit crooked. I can't really tell. It's probably just the bowing of the lens. However, cable management is on point all around here. Super clean setup. We have a shot of the CPU cooler a little bit closer, so you can see here that it is in fact a non-passive cooler. At first I thought it was a passive cooler, and then I realized, oh, there's a fan wedged in between two of those large heat sinks. Beautiful stuff. Everything just is very, very well coordinated. You know, I like black and white builds. Paul's Arctic Panther is one of my favorite black and white builds personally. But this one for air-cooled definitely does the theme justice. And you've got a white fan in the background there, which also looks nice. But one thing we don't do in the first 3 weeks of a season of Booted is show off the Contender's cable management. That's only something we do in round 4, when the stakes are really at their highest peak. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at what Michael is packing. Alright, so now while the front end of his system is very nice and tidy, it looks to me like he cable managed the rest of his system with a blindfold on, handcuffed, while under the influence of mescaline. This is very erratic, and you can kind of see why when you're dealing with a case like the Evolve ATX, because there is just so much room for cable management, and I feel like the more space you're given to route cables and things like that, sometimes the less work you put into it, because it's just that easy. You don't really need to try. That's what a lot of cases, at least mid-tower and full-tower cases these days, are really pioneering, is just ease of cable management and not really needing to tidy anything up on the backside. However, here we can see Michael has done just that. He has just kind of thrown everything in there, at least on this backside, and we can see quite a bit of spaghetti. Yes, Quaaludes are delicious. So, take that for what you will. But the main squeeze here is this side in particular, and it does look quite tasty, if I do say so myself. I can't remember if you can see I believe you can see the power supply through the window on the side panel of this case, and if that is the case, it's not meant to be punny at all. I would probably remove, this is just me personally, I'm a stickler when it comes to color coordination, and if there's just one bit of splash of color that doesn't really match with the rest of the system, it just drives my OCD crazy. So I would personally remove the HX1000 sticker there on the power supply, but that's just me. It's such a minor thing that to most people, they wouldn't even think about it. But I've got OCD, and I have to speak my mind because I'm hosting this show, so forgive me. Forgive me for that open-mindedness, or closed-mindedness, depending on how you look at it. Let's move on to Daphne. Daphne was our week 2 finalist. And when you first look at this case, it doesn't strike you as a high-end chassis, because it's really not. It's a Thermaltake G42 Commander. You don't really see this case too often in high-end builds, but according to Daphne in the little personal message that she wrote me, unless Daphne's a dude, of course, that could always be true, this case holds sentimental value to her, or him, or it, we don't know. And that's, I can respect that, because there is something more to PC building than just a bunch of inanimate objects coming together and forming a functional computer. There is sentimental value that can be attached to certain parts or rigs as a whole, and I like the fact that she didn't, just go with the latest and greatest high-end chassis of 2016 when building this system. She stuck to her roots. There's something that about this case that means a lot to her, and I can respect that. And while it's not the most high-end and blingy of all cases, it does do a nice job of holding all of her hardware in here. She's got 2 GTX 980s in SLI, a 4790K with a Corsair H105 cooler, those beautiful Dominator plats, which I just love. And again, we see another fancy SLI bridge here from EVGA. She's got fully sleeved cables as well. For her 24-pin, her PCIe, beautifully sleeved in white. And they are full power supply cables. They're not extensions, which I also think adds a nice touch of class to the whole thing. And the cable management is very lovely. Very lovely. You can also see that there's an SSD resting on top of her hard drive cage there, which I'm totally fine with. I actually like that a lot. SSDs, you can get a lot more clever and creative with where you mount them because they don't have any moving parts in them. You're not going to have to worry about any kind of noise or vibration. And she's definitely taken advantage of that fact. Also, beautiful motherboard. Love the thermal armor on the Sabertooth series. That Z97 bling. 32 gigs of RAM. I think I already mentioned that. And then here's a money shot, giving us a nice little inside look there. And I believe, yes, these are the Thermaltake white LED ring fans. Now, the ring fans I have not checked out personally. I might have some on the way, actually. I think I hit up Thermaltake not too long ago. I was like, hey, I've been seeing a lot of these ring fans with your name on it on Booted. They just keep popping up everywhere. I want to check them out. So hopefully I'll be able to get some of those in, test them out for you guys, do a fun little video, particularly for their unique LED arrangement on them. And we do have a shot here of what that looks like in action. Just a fully 360-degree LED. This looks so much better to me, in my opinion, than having the LEDs shine through the actual blades of the fan. To have a ring around them is just such a smart move, and it really adds a lot of coolness to this build, I might add. However, let's take a look at Daphne's cable management. See what she's got hiding under the hood. All right, actually, this is pretty good, I would say. Yeah, geez, I like it. Yeah, everything's routed nice and neat. She's got kind of individual sections that she's going to, and nothing's really overlapping too much over each other, which really helps you get that side panel on a lot easier. So really nice job. I like how you kind of also grappled all of the cables together in the top left corner behind your 5 1/4 inch bay. I think that was a smart move as well. Very good use of the tie down points. There's plenty of zip ties. I think people are afraid sometimes to use zip ties. I use like way too many zip ties personally. It's a shit show anytime I have to like remove a component because I got to like clip off 30 zip ties to remove a freaking, I don't know, video card or something like that. But really nice job here. Abendaz, thank you very much for the donation. Daphne, she is a he. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Daphne. I'm just conditioned to think that Daphne is a woman's name because I'm a very arrogant, or I'm a very ignorant man, and I apologize. You're also not as cool now for being a dude. I don't have like a secret cyber crush on you anymore like I used to. But that's cool. Your PC still kicks ass, so that's what counts here. But thank you again, Abendaz, for the donation there. And let's move on to our last contender here, who is Luke. Luke! With the NZXT H2, beautiful modding here done by Luke, and this has kind of been a work in progress for the last few years for him. You can see he's got a 3770K, and which tells you he's been working on it for quite some time. And he's got that kind of approach where the PC is never really done. He's just been kind of making iterations to it over the years, resulting in this beautiful system inside of a NZXT H2 that he's fully tricked out, painted, modded, put a decal on there to make it like a Stark Industries, like a Tony Stark type theme. Looks really cool. He's also got two GTX 980s in SLI, again reference design, and it looks like he's also whitewashed those previously green branding logos on the sides of those cards, which I always think is a cool, smart move. Corsair H110i GT, so he's got some liquid cooling for his CPU. The one thing I will say here, as beautiful as this system is, I really want there to be an EVGA SLI bridge on there. I mean, Daphne figured it out. Michael hit it on the head. Luke, you need to get an EVGA SLI bridge, or some kind of rigid SLI bridge on there at least, because I was dealing with that same floppy connector, that ribbon-style bridge on Hotline for a while, and it was the bane of my existence for quite some time. And my life has been so much better ever since I made the switch. You should do the same. Those OCZ Vector SSDs are also really killer, those Vector 150s. I think that just matches perfectly with the theme here. The other critique I had was with the actual cable sleeving. I would have liked to see a bit more white in the sleeving, particularly with your Phoebus Solo sound card and the graphics cards. I think that would have been pretty nice. But I also like how you also informed me in your submission that you modded the top part of the case to house a 240mm radiator, which is how you got that H110i GT in there, which I think is really cool. Adding not just a mod for looks, but for function as well. Maybe give you some lower temperatures when overclocking. And you've also done away with the very prominent drive cage that is originally in the H2. And instead you've got two hard drives that are just mounted in the lower right corner of your chassis. And while that really clears up a lot of space and more room for you to add things like those two 120mm fans, I'm a little bit concerned that there might be some kind of vibration noise down there, just because I don't know if you have anything actually in between the drives. It looks like they're just straight up maybe Velcroed on top of each other. I guess that would minimize some of it if you had Velcro in between. But that is a slight concern. I do like how you have blue fans at the top there. You've got a different kind of fan at the back. It's a Bitphoenix. I can't tell which fans those are at the top. You guys in chat know which fans those are. But perfectly matched blue. That blue hue on those blades that you painted, I'm guessing you painted them, match really well with your cables and the rest of the system. So well done on that. And it looks like you've got some optional photos here. So we get a nicer look with the front panel kind of swung open. And you can see that he's also done some mod work at the front with carbon fiber. He's got carbon fiber lining the side of the chassis as well. You can see those three fans sitting pretty. Looks beautiful, man. And also, this is killer. The full tempered glass side panel. So really well done on that, Luke. But what about your cable management, though? We still have not seen the underbelly of this rig, or if there are any skeletons in your closet. Let's go ahead and see what that looks like. All right, wow, well then. Well, was not expecting to find ketchup and mustard in this build, even on the backside. However, you've concealed it quite nicely, albeit with a bit of chaos. It does look it looks messy. I'll just come right out and say it. It looks pretty messy back here. But you do have very good use of zip ties. Again, not being afraid to use zip ties is always key to good cable management, and it looks like you haven't really held back there too much. There is a lot of crossover, I would say, between cables. There's a lot of cables that are just overlapping each other, which adds a little bit more, or a little less breathing room for your side panel to go on. Although I'm sure that you can get it on just fine. Again, cable management on the backside, some people just don't even consider making it look nice because no one's going to see it anyway. No one, you know, on the reg, on average, no one will ever even see that side of your system. However, there is a certain sense of pride that goes into good cable management regardless of who's seeing it. Because at the end of the day, you personally, the builder, know that it's there. And I think there is something to be said about good cable management throughout the entirety of your system. But that is it. Those are all the contenders. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and just scroll through each of these contenders. So this is week 1 finalist Michael, week 2 finalist Daphne, and week 3 finalist Luke. Right about now, you should be seeing a link being posted in chat by one of my beautiful mods. We've got Spider-Fan, we got Mike the Manic Geek, and we've got Cell Processing. Those are my 3 mods. I'm not sure if they're all still here. Hopefully at least one of them are. By the way, thank you guys, the 3 of you, for modding Booted. I really appreciate all the work you guys do for just kind of being on call. You know, I'm not paying you guys, you know, other than with love, of course. But I really do just want to give you guys a huge shout out for all the help that you've offered this series and me and the viewers. So right about now, you should be seeing a link being posted by one of them, and that will take you to a web page that looks sort of like this, where you can vote on which PC that we just looked at today deserves the grand prize of $500. So again, we've got numero uno as Michael, dos with Daphne, and tres with Sir Luke. All right, guys, think about this carefully. I really hope you do, because $500 is a lot to just be like, he should get it because he had the best, he had the fastest graphics cards, or he had the most expensive case. He gets the $500. Really think about the composure of each of these builds, and the love and care and thought that went into them. In the meantime, while you guys think very hard about that, I'm going to go ahead and talk about our sponsor one more time. It's CableMod. CableMod! And just a little bit more information on their new type of sleeving, the mod mesh. Again, it is PET based. It's much more rigid than their existing ModFlex sleeving. And because it's PET based, it's kind of like a nylon. You know, you guys are familiar with that nylon sleeving. It looks really, really clean and smooth and kind of shiny a little bit. The colors are more bright and actually more vibrant than what you'd find on something like the ModFlex or like a fabric sleeving. And they're also going to be offering, CableMod's also offering it in UV reactive options. So if you want to do a UV lit up system or something like that, it's a really nice way to just, I don't know, bling out your rig. And they're also offering it with full power supply kits. So not just extensions, but you can do, look at this, you can do a mod mesh for an entire frickin' power supply. And they've got a couple brands here. So it looks like you can just choose any of these. I know at first they launched with only a few available. I think it was like EVGA and Corsair were the only ones available. But now it looks like, don't quote me on this, but it looks like you can pretty much choose any of these options and get your nice nylon sleeving there. Of course, if you don't want to go the full power supply cable route, you can use custom extensions as well in the nylon option. Boom. And for those of you who haven't seen the CableMod configurator yet, it's pretty amazing. You can select pretty much any of the popular, most used cables that you might need in your system. You can add it. There's a slider, a length slider. Goes anywhere from 200 millimeters to 600 millimeters, so you can get the perfect length of cable that you need, so that you don't end up with a bunch of excess length to kind of find a place for or stash away behind your system, and you ensure that it's also long enough after measuring properly the gaps in your system. So we're going to do 350 millimeters. Continue to the next step, and here you're brought to a little diagram. Let me go ahead and zoom this in a bit so you can get a better idea here. All right, so you have all these colors to choose from. They have a shit ton of colors: blood red, black, brown, carbon, dark gray, silver, purple, blue, light blue, green, light green, yellow, orange, and red, and white. So you basically just select a color, carbon. All right, you can do a little carbon there, and then you can do, I don't know, something else if you wanted to. Some light green there. Oh yeah. Don't actually do this color combination because this looks horrible. I would not recommend it. But isn't that cool? You guys can you can do whatever you set your mind to. Do whatever you set your mind to. It's pretty awesome. So if you guys want to check this out, go ahead and check the link in the description. It's all there. It's all good stuff. Yeah, thank you again, Cable Mod, for sponsoring Booted Season 4. And on that note, cue dramatic voting music. Because we've got a decision to make, ladies and gentlemen. At the beginning of this season, we had 15 PCs. And now we have 3. And only one of those 3 will be claimed. Will be declared a booted champion. So who's it going to be? We got McHale. We got Daphne. We figured out he's not a she. That was an important note. And then Luke. All right. So which one of these 3 is going home with $500? And which of these 2 will be booted and sent home with nothing? Let's find out. Oh, Luke! Damn, Luke with 43%. Just trailing behind him is Daphne with 37%. Very close matchup. Very close call. McHale, unfortunately, you were in last place with 20%, but hey, you still made it to round 4, and that ain't bad. Luke, I am your father. I mean, I'm not your father, but please, call me daddy. No, I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm saying now. Thank you very much, Luke, or congratulations, Luke, on your big victory here, and I think it's well-deserved. You seriously put so much time into this. I just know. From building Hotline, I can tell you put at least 100 hours plus, maybe 200 hours into this thing. It's freaking phenomenal, dude. It's one of the most unique, just original, and just beautiful systems I've seen in a long time. And I'm really glad that the audience chose you. So, congrats again, and well done, audience, for voting for Luke and maintaining the integrity of the channel, whatever little bit is left. And that's going to conclude this season of Booted, but don't go anywhere, because I have a quick announcement here. Season 5 of Booted will be premiering on July 4th. This is the custom water-cooled edition, guys. Not the custom water-cooled edition, guys, but it's the custom water-cooled edition, comma, guys. It'd be weird if there was a bunch of guys that were just like, we're the custom water-cooled guys. Anyway, it premieres July 4th. Remember, there's no Booted for next month in June because I'm going to be at Computex. So if you want to head back, find your way back to the channel come July 4th. It's Independence Day. It ain't that hard to remember. And pop in at around 5:30 p.m. Pacific, and you'll be watching the very first episode of this custom water-cooled edition of the show. It should be exciting. I have already downloaded all of the submissions that were sent, and for this next season, and very promising stuff. You guys are gonna be impressed for sure. So stay tuned for that. Again, thank you to the mods, Cell Processing, Mike the Manic Geek, Spider-Fan. You guys rock. I love you guys. If you guys lived near me, I'd buy you a shot right now, and we'd all drink it and probably do something stupid that we would regret later. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate you guys stopping in, and stay tuned for Computex coverage coming really soon. I also have maybe one tech video should be launching sometime this week before then, before I hop on a plane. So also be sure to catch that as well. Guys, I love you. Have a good rest of your evening or day or whatever, and I'll be seeing you guys soon. Probably in the next tech video. Alright? Alright, I'm gonna go pee now.